Hello, my name is Robert Carr. This is Liam Angus. This is Richard Scott. We're about to watch our short film Road, which we shot ages ago. Yeah, so enjoy.
Ready?
Yeah.
That was really good.
It was alright, wasn't it? So,
That was my breath.
it was? No,
No, that was
mine.
your breath.
Yeah. If you just pause it, 2 seconds. First of all, I just want to, before we start talking about the film, I want to talk about how cold it was this day.
Yes.
Obviously, I asked you to do it with no
So blacked out.
with no shoes on, no socks.
Yes,
It was a bit of a challenge, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. The fact that it was an open road with glass and nappies, and I was walking around barefoot.
We got through it though.
Well, yeah, nothing had to be amputated.
But we got through it.
Yeah, but I'm just staring at the still right now of my feet.
You're getting cold.
It's like two off gammon.
We
Nice.
actually VFX those feet in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right, play. Right, so Road is a film that I wrote, and I wanted to make because of the road itself. This is the reason I kind of wrote the film and thought of the idea, because the road where it is, if you pause that, if the road where it is, it was like, it doesn't get used, so it's a resource that I knew I could use for nothing in a way, because to get a road like this, you would normally have to pay, to get it closed off for how many hours. So the story was developed kind of around the location itself, and everything come from that. This shot, in fact, you can actually see in the original version, you can actually see the end of the road with cars going by from the roundabout that's just up there. But Richard took the horizon out, didn't you?
Extended the road
Mm-hmm.
to the point where it was basically off.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could see traffic and you could see the world, and the world needed to be completely bland.
Yeah.
So I think it was just that shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so that's the other side, and we didn't have to do any work with that side.
Mhm.
But this one, yeah.
And just added a bit of a camera shake to it as well, because it's meant to be Liam's character George's point of view.
Alright.
So if you want to tell us a bit about what you think about the character and things.
I didn't give much into the character
Mhm.
as of, a personality, as I kind of wanted the character to come across as lost, as if he wasn't sure on who he was
Mhm.
or where he was, and I wanted it to complement the film and the idea of the film.
Mm-hmm. Which I definitely think it does. What was that? Just because obviously, like he says, he's a lost character, and I suppose when you're playing him, you didn't need too much of a backstory. I think as the story develops, I think you get that anyway, don't you?
I just wanted the character to be just a lost part of his life,
Mm-hmm.
as if there was no beginning, middle, or an end,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just happening fresh.
Yeah.
And as I read the script, and as the story develops, you start trying to patch things together,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted it to be like that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put too much of a background on him,
Yeah.
because I didn't think there was any need to.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with that as well, because obviously the character's lost, and I suppose in a way that's helped you kind of play him as well. This shot is probably one of my favourite ones, because before he walks into it, it looks more like a picture and a painting in a way.
It would be in the Tate, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. It's very symmetrical, and I think that's one of the ideas from the film. Half of the film is like that, and that's the part I really like. The other half is not so much. But we'll get into that a little bit later, because it's just timing-wise when we had shots. But just play it. This shot, it had a few actually cuts in close-ups of inside the boot, but I think, which I was going to do, but it was your reaction to the size of the boot, because obviously they're meant to be too small for you. It was your reaction. I was like, we don't need to put a cutaway in or anything, because you can visually see that. Oh, you just looked at the tag and that's not your size. So this key, this was actually given to us by one of my mum's friends. She's got loads of old keys, and I think the props in it was important because they needed to be a bit different to what you would normally see. You'll see the phone later on, and I've got a little bit of story about that. But the key, it's kind of like, I'm glad I had it because it interacts with the character and it interacts with the door itself as well. So I don't particularly like that cut, but pause it there. This is actually one of my favourite shots, cinematically, just because the light was perfect. There's a bit of a, like, it's a bit overexposed here. Obviously, the sky it's too bright, but it gives you the silhouette.
Yeah.
Which later on, when I thought about it, it's a silhouette of you, like a shadow of a man, in a way. And I just thought it come across really well.
We could have done with exposing the sky for that.
Yeah.
But hindsight.
We didn't have any lights when we were shooting this as well, which was obviously why there's no light on him. But I think with a shot, it worked out well. I think even in the grade, I think I changed it a little bit as well.
Selfishly, as an actor, that looks class for me.
Yeah, there's a shot later on as well, what I really like, and it's when you've just seen the door and you're looking up. I really like that shot as well.
I've got that still. I've got
Yeah,
that
yeah.
bar still.
Yeah, so
And this is the first film we pretty much worked on together for the first time
yeah, it was. I mean,
as a collective.
as a crew, I think it was the biggest crew that we've had, and we worked on obviously a couple of before on the birthday party and the fighter, yeah. And this is where we had a few more people. I think the overall production and organisation of it could have went a little bit smoother, but that was just because I didn't know the people as well as I do now.
We learned from the mistakes.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we made them.
I think with the road as well, I think there's some parts I really like and there's some parts I don't, but I think that was with timing with the shoot, because we shot in, it was November time, was it?
Yeah. I remember the last day shooting was like bonfire night.
Oh right, okay. So it was later on in the year, so it was less days to kind of like shoot the scene. Less time to shoot the scene.
This is the first time we'd used particular equipment as well.
Yeah. We used a Blackmagic camera, which the quality is amazing with it, but it was still getting used to using the camera. So this scene, it's when we introduce the second character of Sarah, which you never meet. You never act against, but it's obviously Christina, who we've worked together with before, and that's why I kind of cast you as both.
Because you only knew 2 actors.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I still only know 2. Pause it on the phone, if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the phone is prop, which took us ages to find.
There you go.
And I really wanted, I found them in different colours, but I really wanted a red one, just because I knew it would be contrasted on the road between all of the blues, because I knew the sky and everything, and when we go to the quarry. But if anyone needs a red phone, I'll do you a good deal, because it costs us a tiny bit, and I'll try and make some money back on the project.
Yeah.
There's a selling page.
Yeah.
There's a selling page.
Yeah, we're selling. Just because it's.
I can sell me jumper.
Yeah.
I can't wear it anymore.
If you pause there, this is the shot I was talking about earlier, which is one shot it's when I was going through the footage originally. I've seen this.
Cross-eyed in that still.
Yeah, a little. But no, I really like the shot, the way you come up as well, because you've just seen the door, and it's just your reaction, because the door wasn't actually there, was it? So, yeah. Karen, if you want to tell us about, obviously...
I had to pretend that the door was there.
Mm-hmm.
It's acting.
Well, tell us, obviously, about with the door, what was it like, being there? Because in that shot, to me, it still doesn't...
Like that shot.
Yeah.
I don't know, not just as an actor, but as a person, a door in the middle of the road is an odd thing to come across.
Yeah.
And especially one that's standing up.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I couldn't, I use it as as it was.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. I had to act around it, and it was quite a fun thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
acting around a door. It's just an odd thing to do.
Yeah, because it's.
Because when I was learning how to act, you was pretend to have a door there,
Yeah.
but now I have a door standing in the way,
In the middle of the road. Yeah.
and it's just me and a door.
Yeah. It's a little strange.
So the audience see a door.
Yeah.
Where if I'm acting pretending that there's a door, then
Because you can physically
the audience
interact
just
with it,
watching you.
so-
That right there.
Yeah.
Out of everything, that's my favourite
Mm-hmm. I mean,
of the entire film.
yeah.
The two best shots.
This come out exactly how I imagined it. Because I wanted it symmetrical. I wanted the door to be, in the exact same space, and then Richard added that sound effect on, which
Sexy.
just added extra to it. So obviously, when we're filming in the quarry, it wasn't like that because obviously with the road, it was obviously being on the road, but we're standing in the middle of a quarry. It's a bit weird, wasn't it?
It's quite
It's
intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Like with this ground being so high up,
Mm-hmm.
and you were there. It kind of felt that you shouldn't be there, but that kind of helped my character.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
It's an odd place to be.
Looked like something from the Power Rangers.
Yeah. I mean, you had a lot more space to move around, I suppose. With this scene, obviously, I asked you to do it a few different times, so I changed the angle because I wanted it to be a little bit jumpy in between it. And I honestly think that all the quarry stuff's my favourite, especially this scene in particular. I prefer it over to the other previous phone scene, but I think that comes across in you because obviously just the way now you're getting more panicky.
Yeah. I wanted to fumble over my lines.
Yeah.
I knew my lines, but I didn't know them all the way through it.
Yeah.
And I kind of used it.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that much dialogue. It's not a big backwards and forwards between me and Christina.
Obviously, she's not there, so you've got no one to really act off, do you?
So fumbling over my lines helped.
Yeah. No, with me, this is this conversation to kind of come across as pretty much how I imagined it. I love the red phone being there because I think it gives a contrast between the environment.
I think my big grizzly beard looks really good.
Yeah,
in this scene.
I'm glad you kept that. So when everyone, you got a canny one. Did you trim it down?
I trimmed it down just for the
for the
viewers.
Yeah, just for the viewers. See, I can't grow one, so I'm just jealous. Yeah, carry on. This shot is
Really
originally
sexy.
I wanted you to just to land on, but
It
it
was gonna
didn't.
hang up, wasn't
Yeah,
it? And then-
I'm glad it didn't. And some people have actually the reason they think the phone's ringing like that is because she's dying, or when you
Like
get
a
the
flat line.
yeah, like a flat line. Some people have said that about the film, which intentionally I didn't mean.
If I put it down normally, like I did on the one on the road, it felt unnatural.
Yeah.
Because the way you wanted us to throw it down.
I remember there was a take, I think, on the road, and you finished the conversation, but I don't think we had a conversation about where do you put the phone down, because normally it would be on a table, and you would just have the thing in your hand, and you would just put it on top. But with this, you actually had to drop it onto the floor, and you were like a bit wary. I think you were a bit wary of like, how do I drop it? Breaking it.
I also wanted my character to be wanting to move, because at this time he wants to get back to the door.
Yeah, so
it needed to be a throwdown.
Yeah.
But I couldn't be too careful with it.
Yeah.
'Cause it would look staged.
Yeah, but the way it drops into it, just the way you kind of run off, it's probably one of my favourite shots. That one, the one of you when you're looking about the door. There is certain elements of the film I was like, yeah, that looks like a film. You know, it sounds daft, but yeah.
It's the red, man.
Yeah, I mean,
It's the only vibrance.
I
in the
did
whole
bring
film.
out the red a little bit in the edit, just because. But yeah, people thought the sound, so when it goes off, it's like, oh, she's dead. Just want to mention the music just there. Worked with a composer who it's all original music, and he edited to the beats, and it was perfect. Something we've never had before in the past. So obviously this scene, that's the end of this. we're going to cut to the wide in a second. I really like filming this because it's like, it is actually you are alone. This puzzle.
Yeah, we were on top of the hill at that point.
Yeah. It's not actually, you actually look like you can't see anything around, and I think that's kind of how I wanted the character.
Yeah.
He's alone. He is.
It helped being able to work with such a massive space. We didn't have to trick the fact that it was completely vast.
Mm-hmm.
Just nice in a big quarry.
Yeah, it is.
It goes out again, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it. No, it cuts. I was gonna. The original idea was I was gonna go from a mid to a wide to an extra wide, and then further, but it kind of just looked good the way you were walking. I made you walk all the way across a few times.
But I enjoyed it as an actor. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was alone. You were there, but I was alone, and I knew that the camera was on us.
Yeah.
So I still try to give the performance.
Yeah, even though it wasn't a close-up, it was
Yeah.
you still. Well, no, I think.
How do you tell a camera your emotions from 100 feet away?
Yeah. No, I think it's come across really well in the end. Especially the shot was really. As soon as I got it, I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Because the door as well, it doesn't look. To be honest, pause it.
You mentioned people asked about the VFX.
Yeah, so people.
Unfortunately, I can't do that. It was real.
Yeah, I mean, we could have done it with visual effects, so the door wouldn't have been there. You would have been on green screen. And I honestly don't think it would have looked as.
I've worked with green screen before, and I couldn't bear it.
She's got nothing to act against, and
No.
I think, to be honest, being out in the elements like we are here, it does help in a way. We shouldn't.
Not to tell George Lucas I wouldn't do the next Star Wars.
Well, we don't talk about the prequels, but because they're just CGI. But no, I think even though it was cool, but one of the things I would change is I would film it during the summer.
I would much prefer it during the summer.
Yeah, I mean.
But then during the summer you wouldn't have got the. I kind of like the wet look on the road.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, it made the path a lot bluer, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It gave more grit to it. It gave grit to my performance.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't comfortable. Do you know what I mean?
So you're going to act so the way it would be, it's real. One of the things, reason I would shoot during the summer is just so we had longer days. So we could spend that little bit extra time, because with the cut that a bit on.
Yep.
Just so we had a little bit long time, and so it was the door scene. We shot. We put that up, shot it, and took it down within an hour. Which wasn't ideal. It was just because the sun was going down. So we just.
It did make it more awkward, and it put pressure on me to get things right as quick as I could.
Yeah, because we had one or two takes, and there's a certain shot of maybe I would have changed that angle, or just certain things. It was just that it was that one scene. Stuff like this I'm really happy with. Again, the silhouette of a man, it's kind of, it looks great.
Considering we didn't do any test shoots or anything.
No, not really. We went, didn't we? And
yeah, I think we took one photograph.
Yeah. So it was. There's some things that cut out, which didn't need it, just to try to speed it up a little bit. I think the pacing as well. I think that's one thing I would like to improve.
George? Sarah?
There's a good outtake of you here, where you
I don't know where I am.
you swear at one point.
Do I?
Where are
I
you
don't
now?
have it. I've got it somewhere on the computer. It's funny.
A door?
Ross was not in it.
What
No,
kind of
no,
door?
I thought there was a hidden sort of
no.
message.
Rob, if you want to talk a bit about the camera.
Well, yeah. The camera we used was the Blackmagic cinema camera, the 2.5K version. Yeah. It doesn't really matter what. There's a good podcast I listen to, and one of his taglines is, "If the story sucks, I don't care what it's shot on."
Well, what about some of the limitations with that camera
Well,
that you faced?
it was a limitation because I didn't have an experience using it. If I was using the camera that I've been using for years, it would have went a little bit smoother.
It broke, didn't it? In the
Yeah,
quarry?
it did. The battery went on it, and that was pretty much within the first 2 takes.
And
So
considering the commute to the quarry was an hour and a half,
Yeah.
we lost almost 3 hours.
We walked a lot, didn't we?
yeah, I mean that's actually one of the things with the location is I didn't time how long it was actually going to get to the end of the road because I don't think any of us realised when you're standing at the top you can see the end of the road and go, oh, it's just there.
But it
But
takes almost
It's
40 minutes.
yeah to get to the end of the road, which was
It was crazy that.
yeah. You thought you were getting closer, but you weren't.
Well, when you were watching people walking up to the where we were, they didn't look like they were moving. It's like they
Yeah.
were moonwalking.
So I remember when we were trying to shoot, but then someone was walking past. I'm like, oh, there's someone going to walk past in
Yeah.
about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
So
be ready. You know.
Yeah.
Kinda.
We had a few dog walkers.
we had either wait 10 minutes for them to get past us, and then 10 minutes so they can get out of shot. So then,
Because obviously it was people still walk down it and things.
she just barricaded the whole thing off, Rob.
Yeah,
Got
no.
police involved. Saves a lot of time.
Would have. Oh, there's a few things I would have done differently, but
Yeah.
I think even for me, there was a few things that I would have done different.
yeah.
Like, just looking back on the performance,
Mm-hmm.
it's odd that I'd nitpick at myself,
Mm-hmm.
just little tiny things. Maybe it's an extra look here, and I'm thinking maybe I could have said something different, or maybe it would have
Mhm.
looked better,
Mhm.
looked more real.
Well, if you could pick one thing out of the whole project
What would it be?
that you like the most, what would it be?
I'm working on my own,
Mhm.
working without any other actors. I mean, it's hard
Mhm.
because it makes learning lines harder.
Mhm.
Because if I'm working on my own, I don't necessarily have anyone to rehearse with.
Mhm.
George, it's
Um,
beautiful here.
So I'd say working on my own would probably be the best thing
Yeah,
about
so
it.
to try and
Said that
put the
way.
point across of who the character is, but
Who said I went through the wrong door?
who you acting against.
Mhm.
It's like, you know,
What about you,
Why?
Rob?
Who you with?
One thing
George, I have
out
to
of
go.
everything that you like the most?
Say it's
one
time.
thing.
What sticks out?
Time? Time for what? Who you with?
I would have to say
Sarah?
A beard.
the beers. Yeah, it made focusing really easy. But no, I think I'm going to pick the quarry section of the film.
Just the quarry.
We should have called it Quarry.
Yeah, we should have instead of road because even though we didn't have as much time on the quarry, we got everything done and it looks great. I think especially your performance on the phone scene and the door. It's like the door is one of the main elements. Obviously, my dad helped us make the door, and it was like when I went to him to ask about it, it was, Dad, can you put a door in the middle of the road? He's like, why? Why? But yeah, you know, and I didn't think it would have worked as well if this was green screen without the door, and so you couldn't interact with it, and I kind of liked that of it. So yeah, the quarry half of the film, pretty much for all of the elements, because it looks great. The performance was great, and
I've never been in a quarry before, and it was quite an experience to actually be in a quarry.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot quieter than you think.
yeah.
There's no dog walkers.
No
Yeah.
dog walk. So we had pretty much free room. I
We
mean, I
were
would love to use it
isolated.
again for something
Is that-
sci-fi, you know.
Helicopter was spying on one of it.
Yeah.
Well, from the shoot, what would you want to avoid next time if you could do it again?
There's nothing about it that I disliked.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that comes across is how cold it was. Like, and how like my feet were freezing,
But it
Yeah.
helped.
but it helped.
Yeah.
So the
it's,
worst thing about
yeah.
it was actually the best thing about it.
yeah.
Maybe I could have came a bit more prepared as for myself, and I know you bought us like things that I could
Yeah. To heat pads.
yeah, heat pads and stuff.
Well,
But I couldn't warm my feet up.
yeah. I think that's one of the things I would change. One of the big things is I would have someone get to the crew together beforehand. Make sure everyone knows like what the situation is going to be like, and then make sure we have a better place for you to keep warm.
But then I didn't want to. Then I'll be completely on my own. There's no other
Yeah.
actors that I can bounce off.
Yeah.
And then I was just trying to be one of the crew.
Yeah.
So I needed to be with you so I can understand
yeah.
everything that was going on. I didn't want to sit on the grass by myself.
I think having the crew, I think now I've worked with Richard a little bit more and other people that a lot more and other people that worked on things. I think I've got a better working relationship, so I think that would have helped the shoot.
If we could go
for
back and
you as
shoot
well.
now, with especially crew wise, with the shorthand we have, it would be a lot more efficient. But as they say, you know,
You've got to learn.
hindsight's
You know,
everything.
you've got to make things and learn from it. And so that's filmmaking, that's acting, that's working with the crew.
Sarah.
So
See,
it's I love the experience of it. I love those 2 days, and it's kind of like I think a few of us said when we were on set is like,
Where are you now?
well, yes, we're freezing cold, but I'd rather be out here filming this than
Oh,
Than being
sitting
stuck in the house on the computer.
yeah, or sitting in a job where
I said that
Yeah.
on the. I said I left a job sitting behind a desk, earning good money,
Mhm.
just so I can do this for free.
Right. Just stay there.
I'd do this any day of the week.
yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like this is what we want to do. This is our passion. It's like sometimes we get paid for it, sometimes we don't, and
Most of the time we don't.
most of the time.
If you bear the scars from it as well,
Yeah, I think.
then you can go. What do you get that from? Data film.
Yeah, made a film. So we'll talk a little bit about. Obviously, we entered a few festivals, and we entered one locally, Sunderland Shorts, and we won Best Original Film. You were the. Mum's not going to like this, but you were the first person who I rang.
Yes.
You know, so I rang you, and it was very unexpected. I was there, and then they mentioned they were saying, "Oh, we've got a Best Regional Award." I was like, "Oh, I think I'm applicable for that," because there were some really good films in the festival, and
I remember sitting. I was on Twitter
yeah,
and I was refreshing the feed because I knew that they were doing it.
yeah,
And then I was like refreshing, and then I seen a little fuzzy little picture of you standing
Just-
up,
yeah,
getting
yeah.
up. And I was like, oh, I want to know what.
yeah. So I rang you, and
This is my favourite thing of the whole project.
yeah.
It's just sexy.
And obviously when we watched it at the screen, and before obviously we found out we won the award, it was nerve-wracking. I hated it. I hated anything like that, but I think you just got to get used to it. But I think when we were watching it, it's kind of like, yeah, we made this. And then we got the award, and it was kind of a little bit recognition for what we've done. Which is always nice.
It was worth getting frostbite on my toes.
Yeah, it was. Just for, for that, and I think it's made us realise a little, that's what we want to do.
It makes you more hungrier for success.
For more, yeah, I
Is
mean,
that you?
definitely.
And I don't mean success as in winning awards,
Yeah.
just making more.
Making more films.
Because I think I measure my success on how many I make
yeah,
and the quality of them.
yeah, I think that's just, to be honest, awards are great, but yeah, it's I think it's all your own personal.
Until we win an Oscar.
Yeah, well.
And I'll be. This is what I've always dreamed of.
Yeah,
Time.
hopefully one day.
Who you with?
But no, we do this for the love of it.
It was a nice project to really just sink your teeth in.
Mm-hmm.
It was horribly cold. I mean, I should have just wore some thermals.
Yeah,
But it was, it was, as we say, it was freezing cold, but I would much rather be doing that, complaining about the cold every now and then, than sitting at a desk.
yeah. See
Yeah.
that this time. I mean, I do that most days anyway.
So when you finished editing this, you're gonna sit at a desk and
Yeah.
And it is, yeah.
Gonna sit at the desk for quite a few hours, and he'll be editing. I'll be sending emails, which is all I do to people. So, to be honest, when you do get these days, when you're making this, you kind of make the most of it. And,
And it's just as cold in this office.
yeah, it's just as cold as it gets cold in here, and it's not as damp.
you didn't have your feet out.
That's true.
That's true.
I think,
Still with that.
unless we've got a summary,
I can.
any last words? So we talked about the door, the cold, the road, the quarry,
Talk about
the
cold.
camera shooting in RAW, never again.
No, I'm not
It's
mentioning that.
absolutely stupid.
It doesn't
There's no
matter what
point
you're shooting
doing
on. It doesn't matter what you're
it.
shooting on.
The music,
I
it was
mentioned that.
great having an original score. The sound, we shot. I mean, we took footage inside.
Well, the sound is
Your
not actually.
garage?
Yeah, the sound's not actually originally on set. Because it was we didn't have like a blimp for the microphone, so we were getting wind sound. So we recorded a lot of the sounds afterwards.
Yeah.
So when he's standing on, that's actually me going ah.
Yeah.
Um,
This was when we realised there's no way you can fake being out of breath.
Yeah, so he made us do.
It sounds,
burpees for, like, a minute.
erotic. So
So like, and then we recorded it. So.
yeah,
Um,
and it worked a lot better.
Well, I worked with an actor once, and the role was we were playing football, and I was just meant to be this injured guy on the floor, and it was a 1 minute shot, but the lad had ran around Mulberry Park 10 times, done press ups every so often, just to look like he's
yeah,
out of breath.
out of breath. Yeah.
He was out of breath. He was sweating on us,
Yeah.
but I think it made it good.
Yeah, I mean, when we
I was
did it,
meant to be a
didn't-
scared guy, and I was pretty
yeah,
scared.
yeah. Well, I didn't even think about it when he says, "Oh, you need to be out of breath." Well, do some star jumps for a minute. And it's like
Yeah.
it didn't even take us a minute to be out of breath, so it does work.
Yeah,
Just
you
a
were
little.
quite unfit that winter, so
Yeah,
it helped.
that winter.
It helped.
It's necessarily possible to do that. You know.
At the end of the day, it was just really fun shooting.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So to summarise, I've learned a lot.
The moral of the story is, yeah. Well, if you
Love.
manage to get all 40 minutes through this, thank you, because no one's going to watch this.
No, we'll have to edit this down.
I'll watch it a few times,
I'll
get the views up.
yeah.
Let's put a refresh.
But yeah, this was season 1 of the Film Look, the Door Project. Season 2 will be based on Corpse, another film we've done, which season 2 is going to be called The Zombie Movie,
Yeah.
which everyone has to do at some point in their life, so we got that out of the way. But stay tuned for more. We're going to have more episodes. We're going to be getting there. Thanks for watching.
Back to the studio.
Alright, should cut it there.